Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a moment, if you will, to speak about humans' maladjustment to life, mankind's maladjustment to mind. We use the scenario that people will do anything for money. For money, they will violate codes that turn certain activities into crime or violence. Usually, when these codes are established, they have already been used by someone or some group to profit from it, and that these laws now are made to protect their interest while making people believe it's their interest that they're protecting. You see, what has happened is that these who got it have already did it to you. Now they want to say, let's pass some laws to keep people from doing it to you, but what they're actually doing is keeping you from coming back at them by making what they did legal. And so we have this stuff where people will continue. That's just a big picture. But if you broke it down a little bit, you would see that people will sell their bodies for money, men and women, old folks and children. People will sell out their friendship for money. People will sell drugs for money. People will do anything for money. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody will do everything, but everybody will do something. Let me say that again. It doesn't mean that everybody will do everything, but it does mean that everybody will do something for money. Now, why do they do this with money? What is so fantastic about money? Well, let's see. With money, you can buy food, you can buy clothing, you can have shelter, you can be educated if you got enough money, you can have super health care if you got enough money. And if you have enough money, you can probably be tied to some business or investment that you can make some additional money. Now, this is what money does. If you got enough of it, you can have luxury cars. If you got enough of it, you can travel on planes and trains, whatever your desire, to any place you desire, if you got enough money. Now, we live in a society where we got people who got enough money, they can do these things. For instance, you're president of the United States. Even before he became president, I'm sure after this is over, he's going to really be able to travel on top of the world. But even before then, he could travel up there. Anywhere, whenever, however. That's what money does. And a person like you, a person like me, man, we have trouble putting gas in the car. And yet, we'll have two people as different as these running, telling you that they would like to serve you. That they would like to serve you. One doesn't have a nickel or a bucket to piss in, and another one got golden buckets. And each one will serve you. And they come before you and say, we want to serve you, I want to serve you, the broke one, I want to serve you, the rich one, and you look to see who you're going to choose. Now, without even thinking, who are you going to choose? Without a doubt, you're going to look at the poor one and say, what can he do for us? Can't even do anything for himself. And you're going to look at the rich one, and you're going to say, we want you. You got money, you say you're going to help us get some money, and we need money, so here we go. But usually, these people that you go for have already got a scam going. How to continue to manipulate and get from you whatever it is that they want. You're still being played. And you never look at the poor guy and say, well, maybe he knows something that we don't know. He's a poor man. Maybe he understands why he's poor. And he wants the power of us behind him so we can do something about poverty. And if he does something about poverty, it's not only helping him, it's helping each of us. No, you haven't been trained to think like that. You've been trained to think the opposite way. And so, you think when a man like the poor man who might come before you and say that you're being played to the max, that all of the controls that people or powers have over you are powers that have been stamped on you by them and you have accepted. Whether it's a dictatorship, whether it's a gang ship, a mafia ship, it's all the same. These can only exist because you approve it. And why do you approve it when you know it works against you? Why do you approve it when you know it's detrimental to you? You do so because to ignore it causes you more pain. It either, on some levels, can get you put in jail. On other levels, it can have your head beat, or your property destroyed, or someone in your family destroyed, or you destroyed. All of these are force mechanisms to make you, if you try to wake up, go back to sleep. Because who wants to lose their property with fire or some other kind of destructive act? Who wants to have their head beat down? Who wants to be shot and killed and left there? Who wants these things to happen to them? And every last one of these things will happen to anyone that stands up and say, no more. I am not walking accordingly, and I'm holding myself up as a representative of what I say. And you do it. Well, most folks are not going to go for that. But there was a story going around one time that says there was a man who came to earth who was the son of the Almighty Creator. And that he walked amongst the people. And he did things, miraculous things, that no people had been able to do or even do since. He said they could do it, but what it takes to do it, the people do not possess it. And so, in essence, he was as much an authentic fellow representation of the reality of a power, spiritual power, that we can't see and touch, but is nevertheless as real as can be. And was allowing him to be able to do things just by his faith and knowing what he knew. Walking on water. Now, a lot of folks say this never happened. It doesn't matter whether it happened or not. It's something for you to check out. Laying hands on the sick and they recover. Hands on the blind, they see. Come on now. And then, what happened? Rather than the people saying, this must be a representative of something much better than we've ever been. Truly, this must be the Son of God. And if this is the case, we must walk this way. And had they said that, and had they responded accordingly, I'm not talking about in words, but I'm talking about in action, then chances are we could have avoided so much of the stuff. But like they are doing now, they did then. They weren't going for that. What the system set up had to survive. And this was a threat. And so this wonderful person, we all say the Son of God, many of us call God himself, was led up on a cross and crucified. And yet he has said to you that I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. No man cometh unto paradise. No man cometh to my Father's mansion where there are many rooms unless he come by me. What does that mean, come by me? Everybody say, well, they're believing in Christ. Well, what does that mean? If you believe in someone, that means doing what they want done. When you work for somebody and you get a paycheck from them and you're being paid for some specific duty, you do it. You don't just claim it, I got such and such position. You perform. So when you say you are led by the Spirit of God as Jesus personified it, you don't just use words. You walk according to that. And if the magnitude of this expressed all across not just America but across the world is in such an abundance that it can overwhelm all the evil and squash it out. And I'm not talking about with guns and knives and poisons. No, I'm talking about with kindness and love and affection. That everybody just want to run to it. And nobody's giving in their life to the evil stuff anymore. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about trying to beat the devil down. I'm trying to shame the devil to wake up. And if he doesn't wake up, let it be the devil's fault and not mine or ours. So I'm saying very seriously, God, I hope I got this camera recording. Woo! Usually I have the monitor facing me so I can see what I'm doing, but I came back this time and I forgot to turn the monitor this way, and so I'm just going for it. It just hit me that if I've been doing all of this talking, trying to get a message out, and it was all for naught, wow. But anyway, what I'm basically saying is that you heard it said that heaven had angels, and that the same thing that happened on earth happened in heaven. They want to start a divisive situation there. So some power up there, or someone up there, wanted to strike a deal with some people that were weak, or angels that were weak, and build up something in heaven that was greatest or greater than. And so that got kicked out of heaven. No place for that there. It's the same thing happening here. And so the battle here is this. Kick that same evil spirit that was trying to generate itself in heaven, kick it off down here where we the people operate. And at the same time, it is saying that anybody coming with truth or love and affection, anything that comes against the system's ideology is a threat. And it must be dealt with. And so the message is that since we are the light of the world, we don't die. We just get put out of a place where light is refused to the ultimate. And so if Jesus, the Son of the Almighty God, can go to the cross, he says, I am the way. So that means this is the way to that paradise. Now, I know you can't understand that. You can't perceive of that. You try, but it's all a figment of your imagination based upon your usage of it. But none of us have gone there knowingly and are reliving a situation that takes us back there. So we can't really tell the story. All we can do is dream and hope. And our dreams can be satisfaction to you, and sometimes you can get other folks to accept those dreams as well. But I say to each person, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to find clarity in life yourself. Sure, it is wonderful if all of us were on the path to straighten this situation out, but the reality of it is that we're not together like that. And so many of us might have to give up our lives as we stand up. But maybe not. There are things going on in the world that we know nothing of. Not just these floods that's wiping out America, these fires and things. It might be done in other parts of the world as well. I don't know. But I do know it's happening here. And something is going to have to turn for the people. We're going to have to stop chasing after money. Why? Because we don't need money to get food and clothing and shelter and education. Who provides those things? You do. All of the houses, the food, all of the clothing, all of the education, you provide that. You provide it. And what do you need money for? Well, if you provide all of these, all of this, you don't do, as an individual, do all across the board things. You do the one thing that you do. And that one thing that you do is necessary. It is essential in participating in the creation of the goods, of the services that the people say we would love to enjoy, or we would just love to have, because without it we'll be dead. Well, the truth of the matter is that if the spirit of love is in you, then all you want is what you want. Why do you want to keep somebody else from having what they want? Only if you are on that side of the track. That's the only reason. Other than that, baby, this is why I'm saying you don't need money. These things belong to you. Everything, all the houses, everybody's working. And those who are not. All the houses and all the potentials, all the materials that's available on this earth to make houses. Same thing with clothing. Same thing with food. All of the materials and everything that's necessary to do these things belong to God, the giver. And it has been given to the human race to use for the benefit for what it does. For the people. This is ours. You working and making it. It's yours. It's ours. All of us, those who don't have a job, is because the system is designed to keep them out. The system, so they're being robbed. You're working, making the thing, they put money tabs on so they can rob what you, and you don't even know it. They got money on it, robbing you. Take that money out and you won't be robbed. You won't take all that stuff to your house, cluttering it up. It will be accessible to you at any time that you desire it. So keep it in the places where it's supposed to be kept until you want it, need it, or desire it. I'm trying to tell you a new way of life, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to be worried about North Korea. They're going to drop a bomb over here. We don't have to be worried about ISIS, because ISIS in North Korea, its people want the same beautiful, joy, wonderful thing that I'm talking to you about today. And it's yours if you make up your mind and say that's what you want. And that you're not going to be following a system that is continuously doing what this is doing. Now, you do this thing in harmony. You don't go and act a fool. The people decide that this is what we want. The people decide that this is what we're going to do. And then it will be established by the people how to do it. And then it will be done. It will be done. And this is creating heaven on earth. I guess somebody might say, well, Eddie, who do you think you are? Well, if I am at liberty to choose what I would like to be, I would like to be known as instrumental in changing the ways that men and humankind approach life, from that of destruction to that of life itself, experiencing the magnificence of creative power that is generated through those who have now put themselves open to receive the wonderful power of the Spirit of life. And they themselves now are living. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has been somewhat instrumental in your day. Thank you so very much for giving me this your time. Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people, saying bye-bye.